What do you look for in a man?
Oh, I can bear almost anything as long as he has clean teeth.
I look for kindness and sincerity most of all.
I think personality, warmth and affection for children are the main things.
I don't know, really. Physique, interest.
Do you think looks are important?
Sometimes it depends on the man.
What about money?
Money's not important.
Would you marry an ugly man?
I've married one.
What's your craziest confession?
This guy's 20 minutes after I his best friend. I 3 dudes in one night, and it was the natty championships of UGA.
I beg your pardon?
The third one actually ate the second one out of my so that was funny.
Hey, yo, what the?
They both came in me.
Hey.
I cheated on my boyfriend with a guy I told him not to worry about.
Should he have any control over what you wear when you go out?
Oh, hell no. No.
All 6 stones I could simply snap my fingers. They would all cease to exist, and I call that mercy. Then what? We finally rest. And watch the sunrise in a grateful universe.
Randy! Yes, my queen?
Did I not tell you to leave your credit card on the table at all times for me?
Here you go, my queen. I'm sorry, my queen. Forgive me.
My lord, do I have to put you back on a leash again? Are you forgetting something? You have to do something. Hello?
Oh, I'm supposed to cash app you every 30 minutes, right?
Right, and it's been 31 minutes. Hello?
My apologies, my queen.
Why are you slacking like this? Oh, that sound makes you want to come. Oh, my God.
Are you happy now, my queen?
Never! Now, me and the girls are going to go out with your credit card. I'll be back when my side dude drops me off.
Yeah, but you're basically half naked. I mean, you know.
Okay, dressing half naked makes me comfortable and happy.
But we're married.
What matters more, the marriage or making me a happy wife?
I'm sorry, my queen. I'm talking back.
Remember, happy wife, happy life. Don't you ever try to humble me.
I'm not trying to humble you.
Well, you're not pleasing me either, and that's all that matters. That's all that should matter in your life.
So what pleases you?
You know what, Randy? Don't you ever ask me those.
It's funny because, at least for simps, this is true. Guys, despite the Western red carpet, surprise, surprise, women can't work. There are now hundreds of programs that put them in the front of the line, allow them to cosplay as construction workers, and put them in positions of power that they didn't even earn, but found, let's just say, other ways to get there. Additionally, if these women fail, which they do almost seasonally, these programs and corporate incentives just get more and more aggressive to make it look like these chick social affairs degrees actually meant something, even though they spend hours at a time dancing in HR in front of a camera for TikTok. When it comes to the other side of the aisle, our side of the aisle, men have no incentive programs, no airbags, no way to come out on top without considerable work. And surprise, surprise, women don't see that.
I'm married for 30 years to just the most amazing man. We have 8 incredible kids. And 5 years ago, we took the kids up to the mountains about 3 hours away from home, went mountain biking, and he crashed his bike, very, very severely suffered a traumatic brain injury that almost killed him. I am considering getting a divorce.
Okay.
So that I can move on with my life.
Okay.
Nothing with my relationship with my husband would change.
That's a great example of hypergamy. Right? So women mate across and up success hierarchies.
In sickness and in health, apparently doesn't apply in the modern world. We're shocked. What's funny about this lack of loyalty and total neglect, and there is a funny part about it, is that women, for all of the assistance and promotion, playing life like a toddler bowling with bumpers, they never hit the pins. They never actually manage to excel in these institutions without masculine efforts behind the proverbial curtain. And after the recent Western shift towards masculinity, they're trying to make sense of it with ridiculous stories like, women need more help to rise in the workplace. While women appear to be doing better in many ways, 2 have even run for US president as major party candidates. There has been limited progress in gaining leadership positions in business. That has to do with a lack of corporate and government policies to support women as they balance work life and home demands, concluded a task force of female business leaders, entrepreneurs, and activists convened by the New York Times at the Deal Book Summit on December 4th. There is no question that women have made some major gains. Women now sit on the Supreme Court and Joint Chiefs of Staff, are among House leadership, and even on the International Space Station. Still, women hold only 10% of the leadership positions of Fortune 500 companies. Do you see that as depressing? Asked Jodie Cantor, a New York Times reporter who moderated the panel. Do you see that as enormous progress? The hard question, she said, is why at the time when women are really, in so many ways, doing better than ever in society, have experienced so much educational, social, financial progress, why is progress still limited in the business world in leadership positions? Corporations and the U.S. government have done little, the panel agreed, to make it easier for women to juggle caregiving demands with the time and dedication required to climb the corporate ladder. What is needed are policies providing for greater paternity leave, more diversity in the workplace, better childcare options, and a more flexible work environment, they said. Donna Langley, chairman of NBC Universal Entertainment and Studios, said it was a pivotal moment. We've got to hunker down, pivot, shift our strategies, really think about how we harness all the power that we have accumulated over the last few years, and put it to use, but in a different way than we've been doing it, she said. Ladies, I don't know if you've been looking at the scoreboard lately, but I wouldn't exactly say that you've gained more power. It's more like someone foolishly tossed you the ball, you started showboating, and then a particular orange figure came in for the tackle. And ironically, that's a direct result of what you just explained. The work-life balance. People, the reason that there is not an effective way to balance maternity and a conventional job is because it's unnatural and outright unachievable. Nobody can do two things like that at once. That's kind of the point. And yet, you're so bust huffing your own gases that you can't see the writing on the wall.
I feel like we just came to the end of all the excuses of why nobody likes women's sports, and it turns out everybody watches women's sports. Everybody likes it. Everybody's into it. Turns out, oh, we're really good at sports. We're really entertaining.
I'm not sure if we're watching the same thing or perceiving it in the same way, and I'm not surprised. Ladies, it's not the government's job to bend backwards to serve something that doesn't benefit society. For the last 50 years, at least, that has been tried, and it has ended in total failure. And why? Because there is no progress when the market has to accommodate for employees that stay home for 6 months to a year every time they have a kid. There are businesses all over on the verge of collapse because a large portion of their office is comprised of empty seats where workers should be contributing to the economy. The answer isn't to serve you. Frankly, it's to leave you behind to make room for men that are far more capable. Thasunda Brown Duckett, the president and chief executive of TIAA, one of the world's largest pension funds with nearly $1.3 trillion in assets under management, said that while women had now achieved a base camp of rights, there's another mountain to climb. She noted that women, on average, live 5 years longer than men but retire with 30% less in savings. Many women work in entry-level jobs for small employers that do not offer benefit packages, and women do not have pay parity with men for comparable work. It is a rare woman who has ascended to the executive suite. Talent is created equally, Ms. Duckett said. Opportunity is not. We have to see what is getting in the way of the everyday woman to be able to feel that she can succeed, she added. One obstacle, the panelists said, has been the belief that women could have it all. Brooke Boyarsky-Pratt, founder and chief executive of Knownwell, a healthcare provider focusing on weight issues, said a quarter of the women she knew at Harvard Business School froze their eggs to have a career first and a pregnancy later. The only problem was, very few of those embryos actually resulted in a pregnancy, she said. There's false hope in the sense that now that you have these eggs, you can just have a baby at 40, 35, 45, and everything is going to go swimmingly, she said. Information about the poor outcomes of egg freezing would have allowed women to plan more realistically for their futures, she added. Brooke Shields, an actress and entrepreneur, agreed. More information is power, said Ms. Shields, who mentioned that she had undergone 7 in vitro fertilizations. If you go in with the knowledge, you're able to be more proactive. Many companies may be generous in providing fertility benefits, but that's where the support often ends, the panel noted. In fact, there's a motherhood penalty, said Reshma Sojani, founder of the nonprofits Moms First and Girls Who Code, one of which focuses on women in the workplace and the other on girls seeking tech careers. Ah, yes, a motherhood penalty. That's a nice touch, but as we all know, deeply wrong. Ladies, the only penalty that occurs in the workforce is the one that applies to men when affirmative programs push women into positions men rightfully deserved. Men who spend twice as much time studying and not going out. Men who work twice as hard to fund their family objectives. Men who, in accordance with every metric, belong to the only demographic deserving of a real payday. Moreover, pairing the words motherhood and penalty in the same sentence, that really says two things. You are not prepared to be a mom, nor do you deserve to be one. You guys keep saying that you can't balance both, so you shouldn't be trying to force yourself into industries that get crippled by your presence.
What happened to men paying bills for free? Like, what happened to that? Why don't y'all pay bills for free no more? Like, why can't y'all be like y'all grandma?
In the end, they just want our money, Kakashi. Especially in this day and age. Back in the day, I was a complete and utter simp for Rin. A perfect traditional girl. I wanted to clap her cheeks as hard as possible, and yet all I could do was hide in the shadows. Don't you get it, Kakashi? The women of the past no longer exist in this harsh world. Niggas like Black Spider Guy warned us, yet we didn't listen. Now we're just middle-aged men with lots of cash trying to find love that will never exist, like it did in the times of our parents. And I know for a goddamn fact you know this shit to be true. I've seen you with these red eyes of mine, reading those damn romance novels, wishing for a love that you could cherish.
If I'm working a job in a lab and a man is working a job in the same lab and we're doing the same things, then we should be getting equal pay.
What if you work harder than him? Should you get more money?
Well, what do you mean, like, work harder?
Put in more hours, show up earlier?
I mean, wouldn't I...
What if you're better than him?
Then they would probably recognize the hard work that
I thought you said equal pay.
I mean, I think it would depend on, like, your lab position and, like, how...
So you have the same title. Do you want it to be based on merit or just equality no matter what?
I mean, I guess, like, if you are working harder, then I feel like you should get paid more regardless if you're a man or a woman.
So men are more likely to show up early at work. They're more likely to not take 7 to 10 years off for having a child, whether you like that or not. More likely to ask for a promotion, more likely to ask for a raise. They're also more likely to get their boss to notice their hard work. They're better at that than women. So maybe it's not that women are getting paid less than men. Maybe just men are better at working the corporate system than women.
Key words to take away here. I feel like the FBI guy in Wolf of Wall Street. Say that again, one more time, just like you said it. What do you mean by work harder? It's been said 1,000 times, but I'll say it again for the women clucking in this article. You don't want equality. You want more for yourself. You want equity. And that's far from the kind of system that benefits everyone. We have too often ask ourselves, why do we have the most educated population of women with the least amount of participation in the labor force? Ms. Saljani said, it's because we became mothers. Motherhood is the unfinished business of equality, she added. We are good, we are smart enough, we are prepared enough, but we are not given the structural supports to balance being a caregiver and being a worker, and that's it. Lynn Martin, president of the New York Stock Exchange Group, sees progress as a giant leap forward, and then 2 steps back. In her case, she said she returned to work 2 weeks after giving birth, reflecting her desire for motherhood and a career. I wanted to be a mom and have this joy around a new person I created, she said, but I still wanted to be me and talk about financial markets. The challenge was to be someone who has a lot of love to give to a baby and her parents, and is an incredibly, wildly ambitious, intelligent person who can be an outside contributor to the best society that exists in this world. The panelists also discussed the need to change the culture so a man is not stigmatized for staying home to raise children. If women are to succeed professionally, it may require men to do more at home, changing the dynamics of traditional relationships. It's not a question of your dignity, Ms. Duckett said. It is not a question of value, and it's not a question of what it means to be the head of the household. Those are conversations that we need to have. Efforts to limit diversity initiatives were also cited as a threat to women's advancement. We don't live in a meritocracy, Ms. Saljani said, and yet we pretend we do. She said that companies that had supported initiatives to get more girls interested in tech had closed their activities because of the growing attacks on diversity, equity, and inclusion efforts. Remote work got mixed reviews, while some welcomed it as a providing of flexibility, Emma Greed, co-founder and chief executive of Good American, a clothing company, said it hindered advancement. The idea that you can be successful from your dining room table is about as much of a joke as work-life balance conversations, said Ms. Greed. You aren't going to get far unless you surround yourself with people because nobody is successful on their own. Nonetheless, Ms. Greed said, some flexibility was needed when her employees had family matters that inevitably came up. From her perspective as a successful fashion designer, Diane von Furstenberg said what was important was to build women's confidence, and that confidence in being a woman can do so much, she said. Good Lord, this whole thing gave me a migraine. You're not magical. You're not special. You guys just lost. And the reason is in your own explanation.
Alright, I'm headed out for the girls' night.
Alright, bye. Be safe.
Bye.
Don't turn your location on. Alright, you ready?
Yeah.
Let's
Got
go.
your wallet?
Yeah.
So I'm not paying.
You never pay.
Oh, what the fuck is that? Oh! Gado! Oh, Monsieur est gone! Oh, lui est fort! Monsieur est gone! Oh! Get him back! Get him in that!
It's time to get out of your own ways, ladies, and get back in the kitchen. That's right, I said it. Look, you tried, you gave it a good run, but the results came out in favor of masculinity. You can't explain that away. It's just a fact. And if you made it to the end of this video, I want to say I appreciate you. So don't forget to hit that like button, drop a comment to have a chance to win, and hit that sub button for daily videos. And if you could take a quick second to subscribe to the second channel, Man Guide Reacts, link is down below in the description so we can be sure our message will keep on reaching the new men out there. I appreciate all the support, y'all, and I want to wish you all tremendous success.